kingdoms collapse. Now anarchy reigns. You want it, you got it. Now anarchy reigns.
What's going on, everybody? This is You Want It, You Got It podcast. Today, I am speaking with an old friend and a new business owner, Lance Smith. What's going on, bub?
Hey, man, just living the dream.
Yeah.
Trying to sell some skateboards every once in a while.
Yeah. So, what got you into skateboarding?
Are we just staring at each other right now?
Mm-mm. Can you not hear me?
Is our Wi-Fi all messed up? No, yeah, it totally froze up again. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll figure it out.
I can hear you.
What did you say?
I said, what got you into
Okay, cool.
skateboarding?
Oh man, a whole plethora of things. I didn't like team sports anymore. I saw a couple of kids do it. I thought it was rad, you know, and that was back in, you know, the late 80s, you know, and you know, around like 89 to like 90, and then I like the culture. Learned a lot about music and just like different stuff. It was kind of weird, you know, and you know, Clarksville, Tennessee, things were like pretty sheltered, you know.
Yeah.
So if you get a skateboard video and you could see, you know, dudes from the East Coast or the West Coast, and you had the old school skate magazines and stuff like that, you know. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of how I got started and just made a bunch of really, really cool lifelong friends out of it, you know.
For sure, man. That's one thing skateboarding and punk rock has done is lasting friendships forever. When are you from Clarksville?
Yeah, born and raised, but I mean, I've lived other places. I kind of came back into town about 8 years ago, I think. I used to be a chef, so I was in the restaurant business for, I don't know, almost the past like 30 years, you know. You know, played in a lot of bands and did stuff like that, but it's kind of funny because even inside the industry, you run into the same, you know, artists, you know, musicians and people who skate, and so it was always a constant. So one day, you know, a couple of months ago, I woke up. I'm like, man, I'm really sore, and I don't want to fabricate fish anymore. And I was like, I quit. And I was like, what's the other thing that's really, really cool? I was like, oh, start a skateboard shop.
Now, how hard was that to start the skateboard shop? Was there a lot of like planning?
Well, how much can we cuss on this thing?
Whatever you fuck you want to say.
Well, so I kind of did it as a dick and fart joke, because, you know, you always see the commercials like, oh yeah, support local, blah, 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 blah. And I wound up just like running into like kind of some skaters here and there. And like, they weren't happy, you know, not having a skate shop. And so I just kind of, when I first went into it, there's supposed to be like all these things that are set up for like local businesses and stuff. But then when I told them I was opening a skateboard shop, they basically shut me down. They didn't understand what it was. And like, well, why don't you sell bicycles, or why don't you start a food truck? Wow. And I was like, okay. And then all that really did was like that just super pissed me off. And I was like, okay, this is why Clarksville needs an actual skate shop.
Yeah.
You know? So, I mean, it was kind of how I had to jump through a lot of things, but when it came together, everything else, like even like finding distributors and stuff was like super cool, and I've made a lot of friends just with them, you know. So the startup was frustrating, but I just didn't really let it keep me down too much.
Yeah, I remember Clarksville when I first moved here. I moved here in '93. We only had Van Camp skate shop. And
Oh yeah.
and that wasn't even really a skate shop. It was more of a bicycle store with a corner for the skateboards, you know? So
Yes,
uh
they had all four boards and like three sets of wheels or whatever.
yeah,
You're
yeah.
kind of stuck. I was like, okay, I want that one.
Yeah, we would have
It's
to
like
order
you never had a choice.
nope, nothing. And it's
California
like
cheapskates, man.
yeah, and you have money orders. And they would come to
Oh
your
yeah,
door.
yeah.
Um But I remember I met you a few months after I got here. I met a bunch of the skaters and stuff downtown, over at that half pipe that was downtown that later became your half pipe. Um,
Do you want to tell that story or?
no, you could tell the story.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, I remember it was like I met, you were kind of hanging out with some of the dudes from Hoptown
Mm-hmm.
that would come down and we'd all skate. We had some, we had like Brandon Pierce that would always take us to Nashville on that beat up diesel ass
Yeah.
Datsun, And we
Yeah.
go because like there was nowhere here to skate, and they were like, oh, so yeah, but it was Cage Bills and Jeff Knuckles had that weird apartment like downtown, and I guess they got that half pipe was a part of a spine that I think they got from Shaw, who lived in Hoptown.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess they eventually got kicked out of that place. So it was like me and whoever I could find, we just went and picked it up. And I had that big ass Ford, F-100, Uncle Jesse's stunt double truck from the Dukes of Hazzard.
Yeah.
And we packed that thing up and put it in my backyard. So we wound up with like that half pipe, like 2 quarter pipes, like a fun box. And yeah, I mean, that's just kind of what everyone did. Like I had people from Nashville coming up, and we had people from Hoptown coming down, and just like everyone hanging out on the weekends and stuff. The good old days, man.
I know you're involved now with the skate shop and the current skate scene here, but when we were coming up in the '90s in Clarksville, we had a huge skate scene between us and Hopkinsville, and we had a good little scene. You know, the Fort Campbell kids. We used to make our own skate spots, behind Goodies. Remember Goodies?
Oh yeah.
If you couldn't find nobody around town, you guys would either go to
We had
check out Goodies.
Oh yeah, we totally destroyed behind Goodies, man.
Nations Bank.
We put that big ass, like we had a quarter pipe and a big ass kick, waxed all their docks and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because like
yeah,
you had to, we'd go to hide, but it was
you were back there behind.
But I
Goodies when we
remember
used to bring phone boxes, right?
Oh yeah. Well, I just remember like, so we had them out there, and then someone went and spray painted on it, like old school tag, like back in the 90s. I'm like, oh, now it's a gang scene. I'm like, what? We're now gang affiliated.
Yeah,
which was fun at the time.
Didn't the cops or somebody come and take all that shit away from us?
Yeah, and I'm not sure how that happened, but they're like, oh, it's going to be a liability. They're spray painting, and like they thought we were an official gang.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, they're going to rob all of our customers. I'm like, we're behind your store. Like what's wrong with you people, man? But then that's kind of what led up to the disaster that is the skate park that we have now.
Correct.
Which was like, a lot of us got together and had people like our parents and grandparents signing petitions, your cousin and your your brother Larry and his two cousins, you know, Daryl and whatever. And then yeah, they built that skate park, but I think it was only like to try to kill us.
Yeah, they didn't have a professional team to come out. I think they just had pool builders that actually just built pools for your home come out and build the bowl that was there, and somebody that could build a sidewalk built the fucking stairs and shit. It was horrible.
Yeah.
So I never skated that skate park. I've been to it. I've checked it out and shit back when it first opened up. I mean, it's been over 20 years now if you think about it.
Yeah.
But I tell the story often when people ask me, you know, do you still skate? And I was like, I don't skate like I used to. I said, I will tell you the last day I ever remember skateboarding. And they're like, oh yeah, when was it? I was like, I was hanging out with my buddy Lance Smith. He is the one who introduced me to the tap room for the first time. I had a roll of quarters in my pocket. And he was like, do you want to skate or do you just want to go get some beer? And I'm like, we'll get some beer. And he's like, well, the tap room has 25-cent PBR. And I was like, fuck yeah. So I have this roll of quarters and we're just I'm buying us beers. I got so fucking wasted that I don't even remember. I was walking up North 2nd along the record store where that's at now. And I ran face first into a parking meter because I didn't see it there because I was so fucked up, busted my mouth open. And that was my last day I actually skateboarded. It was that day.
This is the biggest perk of like owning your own skate shop is like I can still drink my PBRs and be like, well, trust me, you got this.
You can give them all the fucking encouragement in the world.
Exactly. Like, yeah. Yeah, it's like I still like I obviously I'm too old and I know it, and I can do maybe some small sessions here and there, and I still love to pump around and stuff. But yeah, man, I'm not doing 7 sets anymore.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, no, that's for the youth of today.
But do you still drive around and be like, damn, that'd be a dope fucking spot to skate?
Oh, dude, are you kidding me? That shit never stops.
No.
I'm like, oh fuck, look at that set. And so like well, I'm sponsoring a couple of kids now, and I'm looking to get some more, but I tell them all the time, I'm like, hey man, go check out, it's got this set over here, like go check out Austin P, And now that we've got these new parking garages in Clarksville, like they're like sending me clips like all the time. Like I just had like this dude Sambo like manual from the top all the way down. I was like,
oh, nice.
I was like, dude, that's some sick shit,
But don't you wish you could show them the spots that we used to skate that's no longer there anymore? I mean, we had
yeah, fucking for sure, man. Like, ugh. And I was like, well, it's kind of like, well, I mean, kind of where my shop is, it's that super huge bank. It used to be a grocery store, but now it's like Restore.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so like I was like, man, this is so weird because we all used to try to skate that bank.
It was so bad.
And it's so but now but now they just repaved it. But it's still hard as shit to get to, but I still like I enjoy like when like the guys come here because like I said, we Sunday fun days, I got some ramps and stuff we throw out in the parking lot, but those guys will still try to bomb that huge thing, and I'm like, I'd like go for it, dude. I was like, you'll officially be the first if you can actually land some shit off that.
Do you see the passion that they have like we used to have when they're skating?
Actually, I mean, I really do. And if not, like, I see the passion, but I see a lot more like dedication.
Yeah.
Like they're like, I mean, we loved it because that was our posse, that was our pack. We were in a, they see it more. It's like, hey, like I'm out to, like I want to land it, like they go at it hard. I was like, hey man, this shit's still supposed to be fun at some point.
Yeah, I watched one of the guys that you post up. I think he has like red hair, and he always does the tricks in his garage.
Well, okay, yeah. So he is technically not officially sponsored by here, but that's that Maverick dude. And I've met him a couple of times, and he's been to the shop. I'm still trying to talk to that dude, but I do like the way he sets up everything. You know,
I like his style. But it's just crazy, like watching somebody practice all day to do one trick and then they just nail it, you know. And where us, we wouldn't practice all day on that one trick. We would be like, all right, I'm just go skate somewhere else for a little bit, and then it'll take us like 6 months before we finally get that one trick.
oh
down.
yeah. So, well, to me, which is like when younger skaters come in, and because they just want to know, and I was like, no, man, that's not. It's like boards were completely different. I have like a couple old school boards. I'm like, see, this is the nose, this is the tail. Their boards that you know, I was like, there was, you know, it's like you were either regular or you were goofy, you know, and like that's how we skated, you know. But trying to explain to them like how to do the tricks, how we did, I was like, well, no one set out, you know, like spent like 18 hours on a trick.
No.
Like your buddy pulled it off, and you're like, okay, well, I'm gonna try it. Okay, like, okay, bullshit, I couldn't do it. But then you'll try it like 3 days later, and like, oh, okay, I pulled it off. But then it's like, as soon as you did it, you're like, okay, I did it too. That means I don't have to do it anymore.
Yeah, right.
You know,
we were. It was a big competition between all of us. He's like, oh no, I'm gonna get this trick first though, but it might take me about 2 months. It took you a month, you know. But those were the good days though, man. I miss that. No,
man, it was super fun.
Oh, totally fun, man. Especially like, you know, going to Hopkinsville and skating up there, man. They had so many cool skate spots up there. What was the young kid's name that had like a skate park in his backyard? I can't remember his name.
That was Shaw, right?
Shaw, okay. He was the young one,
Shaw.
right? Yeah, okay.
Yeah. He was the young dude.
He was good.
And then there was Freddie and his brother.
Yeah, I actually talked to Fred often. He's living up in Ohio now, and he's in a punk band, you know, doing his thing. So
yeah,
it's cool. It's cool to see that. But man, we used to give that man so much shit.
It was the word. What you mean, friggity Fred? Anyways, his little brother was like Mikey. He should like
Mikey, yeah.
And he had a hot fight. He would fight everybody.
Yeah, I remember. He
was the smallest dude out of everybody, but just would want to kick your ass for like no reason.
That's what all the small people do.
Well,
so let's step back a little bit here. So you're skateboarding around the same time I was. What got you into like say music, like playing music?
Well, I mean that just, I think it kind of organically happened. Like I got kicked out of home economics for chasing a girl.
Oh, okay. That sounds right.
And then my only other option was to join the middle school band.
Okay.
And then I thought it was gonna be like super, super cool because like I looked up to this dude and he was like a little bit older than me, but he played saxophone. I was like, oh man, I want to learn how to play the saxophone. Because mind you, this is like the late 80s. So I'm like, man, I could be the next Kenny G. Like I'm gonna get so much tail if I learn how to play the saxophone. But so I talked to the band teacher and she was like, yeah, we have too many saxophone players. I'm like, okay, what do you have? She's like, how do you feel about percussion? I'm like, what's percussion? She's like, oh, you want to play the drums? I'm like, okay. And then I'd started playing guitar, like, you know, this is like, we're talking about I was like in the 6th grade.
Okay.
So I had like right before then, my grandmother had bought me an acoustic guitar. So like I knew nothing about music at all, you know. And I'm ADD, ADHD. Like I can't. I'm dyslexic, whatever. But as soon as I got into that, it's something about playing the drums, just fucking clicked. And like those guys. So like by the time I was in high school, you know, you had bands just. Like, I mean, that's right. You know, I was still listening to punk rock music, but that's right when like the whole like grunge thing started happening. So yeah, like all Sub Pop records and like
Yeah.
we had so many like it just in between skateboarding too, like listening to like all those soundtracks
Yep.
and how completely different they were, you know, because you'd have hip hop on one track and then you'd have the Beatles on another, then like here's Fire Hose on, you're like, what
Yeah.
is all this stuff going on? And but as far as the whole music thing, and it like I said, it kind of went hand in hand because like, you know, we spent a lot of time in Nashville.
Mm-hmm.
You know, back when Church Street, you know, we had like remember Lucy's?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you know, and you had like badass fucking like Buzzkill.
Yep.
Ah, God, those guys. And then, but even in Clarksville, we had like the Warehouse.
Yep.
You know, and like that's where you know it's the whole, and I fell in love just like playing music and being in rock bands and stuff, and I was like, okay, this is definitely what I'm gonna do. You know.
What was your first band that you joined and played with or started?
Well, originally it was Pummel, and that was with
Really? Okay.
me and Dennis Sullivan, Mark Taylor, and Jason Dowdy.
Okay.
And I think me and Jason, because me and Jason Dowdy played together like and everything
Forever.
else, and then we wound up we met the one dude from out of town with long hair. So like, of course, this guy has got to, you know, he's got to play something.
Yeah.
Turns out Pantera. Like, okay. And then I had been friends with Dennis, and then we had just like he had kind of come back into the play. So like I was like, oh yeah, we get Dennis to sing for us, you know, and then we seriously like posted up in his bedroom and wrote like 7 songs. I'm like, I think I can get us a show. Like I was the drummer, you know, I was like, oh, we need to play a show and do all that. So yeah, that was technically the first.
Did Pummel ever play a show?
And I still love it. Do what?
Did Pummel ever play a show?
Did Pummel play? Oh yeah, dude. We played a shit ton. We played at the Warehouse like all the time. We got to, I don't know if you remember the Abyss.
The club in Nashville or here?
Yeah. Like, yeah. Okay. No, there was a club in Nashville. And it was kind of like, it was like before you played 328. Like you'd have to go play like the Abyss. So there's like Lucy's, like the small club.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had like the Abyss, which is kind of like, okay, they'll let bands play or whatever. But you had to kind of do that before you got to like 328. Okay. Or like the Exit In or anything else like that. So yeah, we played a fuck ton of shows, man.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah. And actually what's even funnier is I guess our guitar player had given Dennis, like he had found like our original 4-track demo and burned it on a CD. So I went back and listened to that. I was like, these songs were so much fun, but I'm like, fuck this shit. Yeah, like it was, you know, we were teenage guys, just you know. I think our hit track was Tonka Truck.
Tonka Truck.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, because he was like,
I remember.
I
remember a band you were in. Well, this was later in the days because I didn't really go to a lot of shows when I was here, like in the 90s, which is really crazy in Clarksville. But what was the band that you were in that used to always play at the deli? The Pink Bunny Experience?
Oh, fuck. Yeah. Well, Experiment.
Experiment, okay.
Because yeah. I was in. I started that once again on a dick and fart joke.
Uh-huh.
There was 2 dudes, and they had showed up there, and well, me and the lead singer worked at the deli.
Uh-huh.
And then his friend Aaron played guitar, but they would, because like on Wednesday nights they would just do like kind of like acoustic mic night shit. But they and they were good, but they were like, you know, kind of like young frat dudes. But their guitar player was like really, really good. And their singer had a really, really good voice. And it just like you work in a bar for so long, like a fucking cover band, blah, 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 you know. But then they busted out and they did an Alkaline Trio song.
Wow.
And I was like, I don't know who the fuck you guys are, but I'm like, you guys want a drummer? Because I'm bored. So I convinced them. It's like, so the next time they played a set, I played drums with them. And then after that, I wound up calling, you know, 2 other musician friends of mine. I'm like, hey man, you want to start making some money? And they're like, yeah. But literally, dude, that was probably some of the most fun that we ever had. But it was literally, they were all such good musicians that we never practiced together. I think we got together once and just played a whole bunch of just random songs. I'm like, hey, do you know this song? I'm like, hey, do you know like, hey, do you know Steve Miller? Hey, do you know that? You know, that's kind of how that happened. And so like, I started booking us all these shows like weekly. You know, like we had, you know, like every Wednesday we'd play the deli. I think Thursday we had college nights at the warehouse, and then Saturdays we would go out to like the Pinnacle when they were slapping bands, and I would literally write the set like on the way there. I would like whatever like top 40 radio station that was on at the time, and I would just whatever the first like 5 or 6 songs that I heard, that would be like, okay, hey, they're already listening to this, so we'll start off with this. And then we would do like 3 sets, you know, like over like, you know, like 4 hours. And this is ridiculous. Like I can't believe we're getting paid for this bullshit. But
that's awesome.
How
long did you do that for?
I think I mean, it was kind of a hit it and quit it. I think we did that for about maybe a year, almost 2 years, I think, maybe something like that. A lot of that I got paid in Jägermeister, so I don't really remember a lot of that, but it was a lot of fun, man. Yeah.
Oh yeah. That was probably my favorite spot to hang out back in the day, was at the deli, you know.
I miss the deli.
Yeah, it was a good time. I know after that band was over with, I know for a long time the Pink Bunny experience was on the wall.
Yeah.
It was it looked like it was like a marquee that was made up and it said it on there, whatever, painting or something.
Yeah, well, that was so we had this really, really talented artist that worked at the deli. Her name's Amber Wallace. She's married now. So,
I know you're talking about.
But so we were really good friends, and so when she went to go do the mural, like she kind of like surprised me with it. She's like, "Hey," because she wanted to do that New Orleans feel, because that's what the deli was.
Yeah.
So that whole where the marquee was, she just called it the Pink Bunny, because that was the brothel. So like if you remember like what it looked like, there was all the girls, silhouettes of girls and the thing. Which I mean, to me was like the dopest compliment ever, man. And it was a couple of years ago. Like another guy tried to open the deli up. And I was a chef at the Vine at the time, and he came in. He was a cool dude, and he's like, "Hey, come check out my new spot. It's at the deli." But he had gone in and he painted over all of that shit. I was like, "Bro, man, do you know what you did? You just broke everybody's heart. You know, like why would you do that, man?" He was like, "What?"
Yeah. I don't know. Well. Nothing after the deli. Nothing really stays in that building ever, you know.
Oh no.
It'd be still a good venue, man. It'd be a great venue. Got to be a great venue.
Oh, like when I first moved back and I was still like in full on chef mode, I was like, "Oh, I want to bring it back. But then again, I was like, I didn't really understand. I knew enough about the restaurant business, not to do it by myself.
Yeah, it's a tough world when you do it by yourself, man.
Yeah.
So Lance, with the skate shop now, let's get into the skate shop part. So
All right,
what do you want to do? I mean, you want to obviously have a cool spot for the kids and stuff, but at the end of the day, what's the long haul and the game plan?
Okay, so the long haul gameplay is Clarksville needs to understand that there is a really strong like skate scene, and this is their hub. All I really am like is a facilitator. You know, like the reason it's called Clockwork Custom Skates.
Yeah.
And I tell everyone that comes in here, it's like, hey man, if it's on the wall, and if I don't have like what board do you want? Like what trucks do you want? Like let me get it in for you so you can come here. You know, I want them to come in, be a skater, hang out with skaters. Because like when I first started this, and like seriously, I haven't done any mass, you know, anything, you know, as far as like just trying to get my name out. This is all still kind of like word of mouth stuff, and that's thank you so much for letting me do this. But my whole thing was like, well, if I'm still punk rock DIY, and if a skater knows, then a skater knows, you know. They come in, they complain about one place in particular, and then they complain about that they don't know other skaters. And I was like, well, okay, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
Because you're like the third group, you know. And I've already had guys in from Nashville. I've got once again guys in from like Dover or Springfield, you know, like calling me up. I'm like, hey, are you guys open? And I was like, yeah. And then I'm like, and I'm totally open to like, okay, yeah, if this is like you want a very specific deck, you know, like, you know, I got this zero board I really want, and I can't find it. And I was like, all right, cool. I'm gonna try to get that. You know, this is about bringing skateboarding back to what it should be. I don't think I'm cool. I don't think, you know, I'm just seriously just want to be a facilitator in the whole process. I was like, hey man, you want to skate? Let's hook you up. Let's give you something to skate, you know? And let's you guys need to, you know, like basically rebuilding the community, like what we used to have. Yeah. And it's like doing it again. Because I know like with, you know, I'm not saying kids, but even like, because like most of them, you know, most of the guys that come in, you know, early 20s, you know, late teens, early 20s. And then I've got a lot of young kids that come in, you know, like with their parents and stuff. So I'm like, okay, you know, like let's work with you. You know, I'm not going to let a parent, you know, come in and buy a $300 skateboard, you know, for a 6-year-old. Yeah. But I was like, but I do have this, you know. So that's just kind of the difference. And even starting it off, it's just you know, I listen to what they say, instead of telling them what they need. Gotcha. Yeah. Like I'm not a salesman. You know, I'm just not, and I don't want to be. But I'm like, if you tell me like, hey, you know, I want a, you know, 8.25, or I'm looking for, you know, this, whatever, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna listen. I'm like, hey, well, check it out. I got this, you know, and that goes with, you know, the whole setups and stuff like that. Well, and like I will custom make any board that you want. But the coolest thing that I'm doing now is like most of the guys are actually skaters. So I mean, I've got my own workbench and stuff. I'm like, go put your own grip on, you know? Yeah. It's like what do you want? Like, go do it yourself, you know? And to me, I think that's what it's going to help rebuild the community. If that makes any sense. Yeah. Well, what I want to ask too is, are you getting more and more skaters coming out, or do you just have the same core group, or is there more coming out? There's more coming out. Yeah, and you know, like I've got my little Instagram thing, and now that, you know, I've got like 3 core guys that are on a team, and the more that, you know, and things that I'm still trying to learn about But having them out there and doing it, and then every time someone comes in, it's kind of doing like, I try to be cool and, meet and greet everybody, so even if you come in, you're going to leave with at least a button or a sticker or something. And I'm like, hey man, whatever. So
Do you, for the skate park, when it opens up, are you going to have like a Clockwork Custom Skate Shop banner there?
Okay, so I can't really talk about that.
Cool.
And as of right now, but what I will tell you, I'm working on it really, 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 really hard. I know the guys that are doing it. They've been to my shop several times. They're super cool. And just like how I think the skate park is going to be set up, we'll definitely have a huge presence there.
Cool.
Regardless. So
it's literally 2 blocks from my house. So
yeah. I was like, I went over there and I was like, I think Russ lives over here.
Yeah, but it's cool because it's the old Bel Air pool. I mean, they're using that whole lot there. They got that, and that parking lot there is huge. Obviously they're going to be using that parking lot for some shit too. But I have a buddy of mine. His dad lives across the street from the skate park. He's like, I don't care what them kids do. I'm like, all right, cool.
Yeah,
sit on your porch and drink beer and watch skaters.
Well, so it was funny because like was one of the meetings we went to about the actual part. I guess one of the neighbors were like, "These damn kids!" Blah 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 blah. And then, but I'd gone out there like the day before. The only thing that was in that parking lot, and this is seriously like after 4th of July, like maybe the day after or whatever. The only thing in that parking lot was Bud Light cans and busted up fireworks. So I'm like, why is this lady being mad because there's going to have kids skateboarding,
Sounds like a parking lot that we used to leave with, we used to leave parking lots like that all the time.
I know. I'm like, but she's like, no, these kids they're going to come and ruin the neighborhood. I'm like, your neighborhood is covered in Bud Light cans and fireworks. I think that's the worst thing you have to think about is, kids like skateboarding. Like,
I'm sure it'd be.
It was like a lot better option, I think.
I noticed you were saying about board size. Are board sizes bigger now than they used to? Because I used to like to rock a 7 1/4. That's what I used to fucking rock.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you mentioned that because, like, dude, right now I got a Tom Knox reissue.
Okay,
this is like huge, dude. It's like I'm still, I got the plank of wood. But what I tell most of the kids that come in, just because the way skateboarding has progressed, and seriously, it's kind of about the size of the person too. I mean, if you're a big dude trying to rock a 7, but you're, 7-inch wide, I'm like, man, you're going to snap it in half, so you want to, but it also goes back to how technical you want to be, and what kind of tricks that you're doing. Yeah. So I'm like, are you doing gaps, man? Are you doing all tech stuff? Are you street skating or are you just going to parks? And I sell wheels the same way. Yeah. So I'm like, hey man, if this is your everyday rider, like I got kids from like Austin P that come in and it's like, hey, I like to push around on my board, but my wheel, I'm like, okay, well, you need a harder wheel, this, that, and the other. And then, and just depending on, but if you're a straight, I only skate at parks. Like you can go with a softer wheel or you can go with a smaller size board or whatever, but it kind of just depends like it always has. It really depends on the skater and like how you're skating, and then I really feel like, and the best part about like, this is an individual sport.
Oh yeah.
It's like, I can't tell you, this is the best skateboard in the fucking planet. You have to skate these wheels. You have to skate these trucks. No, I'm like, no, that's what I like because
Yeah.
that's what I did. You know, this is what I skate. They last for me. It might not last for them, you know. So I'm like, it's the whole like fuck around and find out.
Yeah.
That's the
Well,
joy of skateboarding.
and that's what it is every time you get on that board. Fuck around and find out.
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, you want to bomb that hill
Yep.
until you like, you know, until you like get cheese grated. I mean, like, yeah, well.
What's the most common size deck that you sell?
As of right now, it's somewhere. I think it's between. I got 8. Mostly, it's like usually 825. I think it's a really good. It's a really good. It's a really good like all around board. And then I think I my other one. People are asking for like the 725s, but very rarely.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's usually about an 825, I think, is what I'm usually, and that's kind of what I push people towards, especially for Clarksville skating, because I just know the terrain and stuff. I'm like, okay, I know what you're doing, you know. So
what's the average? What's wheel sizes these days? Are they big, small? What are they looking like?
oh man, okay, so that shit gets crazy. I usually push like like 53s.
Yeah.
The lowest I'm going right now is like 52s. I do have a couple of old school dudes like us that come in. So I got some 60s up in this, you know, in this piece.
Nice.
You know, just like, oh, you wanna rock it, you know, like go for it, man. So I always think that's cool. But I go from usually somewhere from like a 58. I usually cut him from 54 to 55, like somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Because one, you know, it's like you can ride them longer. You're not gonna get flat spots as easy, you know, and it's just better. And then I do like a lot of POW and bones.
Okay.
It's kind of a different thing now, but the same, but it's different. So I got like a lot of dragon wheels and stuff like that, and then a lot of guys are doing that.
Yeah. Any slime balls?
I had 2 sets and sold them both last week, and I was like, "Are you kidding me?" And
Nice.
I was like, "Yeah." Well, I had this. Actually, I had this girl come in, and she was like, "I really love these wheels," and I was like, "But I don't know what they are," because she had them for like so long, and I recognized it, dude. Like these were like remember the OJs?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're OJ 3s, and I could barely see the. I was like, I know this graph. I'm like, these are OJs, and she's like, oh, I want something like this, and I was like, I got slime balls. And then she started skating those. She's like, these are awesome, and it was like the same thing. I was like, hey, you know. Now, at least my brain works at some point. I don't know.
Hey, there's certain things that we can pick out, you know. I bet you can look at a drum set and be like, oh, that's the such and such.
Right? Oh yeah. Oh no. Yeah. I can still do that. But well, so just in hindsight, I was telling like one of the kids, I was like fuck your phone and shit, dude. Like if you didn't have a California Cheapskates magazine, like you went to the bathroom, like I can tell you every graphic. Every wheel on every board. I'm like, that's a Guerrero. I'm like, yeah, cool. Those are OJ3 slap. You know what I'm saying? I was like, what? I just memorize that shit.
It's funny you said the catalog. I actually have a link that has every single skate catalog from the 80s and 90s on it. And I went to like the summer of like 92 and just picked the catalog and it opened up and I'm flipping through the pages online and I'm like, I know it's coming next. Because you would look at them for so long.
I do. I was telling my girlfriend the other day, I was like, you don't understand. Like skateboards, like most teenage boys just traded off, you know, their dad's Playboys or whatever. Every skater was like, I got the new mag in. It came in today, you know?
Yep.
And look, I got like 3 stickers.
Yeah.
And it cost me $1.
Yep. That was the cool shit, man. Or same thing with like skate videos, you know, not everybody had all the skate videos, but somebody would grab it and then you dub it off and then pass it on to somebody else.
Yeah. fuck Napster. You don't know about fucking skateboarders, bro. And it's like how many 411 videos that were out there.
Oh shit, dude, those were the best, man.
Oh, yeah.
And then, you know, I actually with my friends, and you know them, Dan and my friend Lewis and some others, we made a skate video, right? And this was our video. So we're like, we're gonna get signed, we're gonna become pros. So I said signed like I was in the band. We're gonna become a pro.
Oh yeah,
and,
no, that's how you did it.
Yeah. And this chick that my buddy Dan was dating at the time, he let her borrow the video. And her father recorded over it because there was no label on it, so he thought it was just a tape to record his stories on or whatever. Yeah, I was pretty upset because that right now I wish I still had it because that's just memories right there, you know.
Oh yeah.
So
I mean, I can't believe I can't believe I have no pictures, or I can't find any pictures of my backyard when we had basically
really
skate park. Yeah, I was like, if anyone out there has them, I'm like, man, I want to put that shit. I was like, no one believes me. I'm like, no, seriously, there was a half pipe, 3/4 pipe. I'm like, you had all this shit, man.
Yeah, I remember one night at the half pipe, it was pitch fucking black, and I didn't realize that. So when we pulled into the driveway, that was the one end of the half pipe, and then the other half was over here. Well, that end that the driveway was on, I didn't realize it was a fucking hill.
Oh yeah, just dropped.
And I ran up it and jumped over, not realizing I wasn't gonna land where I thought I was gonna land, and I busted my ass so bad, man. It was like, well, not gonna do that again.
Yeah.
But back to the skateboards and stuff. So, what's a popular truck these days? Because I remember I used to rock Crux.
Well, they're kind of still around. I'm still old school, and I can't get off indies, man.
Hell yeah!
But so I've got some newer trucks in. Like, did you know like Bullet makes trucks now? Like
really,
like Bullet wheels, but yeah. So like Bullet's making trucks now. I got a lot of Ventures in.
Ventures were cool, man. Ventures were really cool.
Yeah. I just got in a pair of Slappy trucks. I mean, I'm gonna try those out.
What's a Slappy?
Well, I just that's like the name brand kind of thing.
Is it newer?
Yeah, but I mean, I don't think they're hollow, but they're just kind of like lighter. So I want to see if they can hold out, you know, and stuff like that.
Hell yeah, man. I know that you got any old school guys coming in that we used to skate with.
Oh yeah. Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I don't know if they want me to name drop them or not, but yeah. I got to. Yeah.
I know. I see Dirty in there every once in a while.
Oh yeah. I got some old school dudes that. So like, it's like, what the fuck, man? And like, they have a blast. We hang out, you know, have a couple of beers, you know.
Oh yeah.
You know, but I think the last time, you know, we did it, you know, we had a huge ass cookout and shit, you know.
Oh, so, nice. So it's cool to see that. Family. It's cool to see that your Sundays are coming. They're turning out really well, man. Rain or shine, man. And if it's raining, then you come inside and watch some skate videos, right?
That's exactly what we do. Yeah, man.
I just real quick. I just sent you about 4 different links. One is all the archives, the old catalogs. One's an archive of every single skate video that was released, or where to find them to watch. An old archives of all the skate magazines, and then another link is all the soundtracks for every skate every skate video out there. The soundtrack to them.
Oh my god, dude! Yeah,
so
that is gonna be rad as shit, dude.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna say, do you remember Kip, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So he showed up, dude. He dropped me off a whole bunch of like old school trans world like skate mags.
Really?
So I got those, and I was like, and this is what phones look like, boys. It's called back, dude.
The old trick tips they used to have in there. It'd be like it'd be like 70 pictures. It'd be like 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
Frame by frame.
Yeah, I remember Willie Santos used to have some cool trick tips, man. I remember that dude so well. So who are some of the new up and coming like skaters out there in the pro world?
Well, I
If
mean, there's a bunch, but I'm and I hate to because I'm jumping on a bandwagon when it's Andy Anderson.
okay.
Like that dude, like I just got his like he's got a special cut deck and all this stuff, and he does a lot of tutorials. But I mean, this guy is
I watch this.
he's
I watch it.
freestyle, he's skate, you know. I'm like he's street.
Mhm.
I'm like the guy's like I'm like okay, well, if Rodney Mullen just was a gremlin and just like you got him wet, like that's Andy Anderson, and I'm like what the guy is just fucking insane, man.
Yeah.
I'm like
They'll be like a fucking bent telephone pole, and he'll go up and do a wrap around and then come back down, or he'll just do some whatever on anything.
I was like what? I mean, and he'll just the thing about him is like, he'll just pull off a boneless out of nowhere. I'm like, well, that makes sense. It's like what you can either watch Rodney Mullen or watch Mike V at the same time. Like this guy,
You're right. Yeah.
It's just like what? I like concrete. Let's do some weird shit. I'm like, man, the guy. But as far as like any I don't have any stereotypical because one, it's expanding so much so fast.
Mm-hmm. It's a huge world these days for skating, man.
Yeah, and I think it's great. And like, let's bless fucking Tony Hawk and shit and fucking X Games. And,
for sure.
And just all of that stuff because it's and the spectrum of like the whole like from girls to boys to in the whole age group. I mean, it's like it's astronomical, and every time I watch something else, I mean, there's like a 10 or 12-year-old girl pulling off like almost 1,200. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Shit. I'm like, I don't have balls that big,
Yeah.
But I'm like, what? Because like what I see is just because like more of the younger skaters that I see, no fear, they don't know, how to skate reggae or what goofy foot is, they're just popping tricks. And I'm like, what? I mean, it's so crazy. Like how much skateboarding has progressed.
Oh, for sure.
Maybe in the past, like 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, to me, it's absolutely fucking amazing.
It's you said that the young girls and stuff. The age of kids that are doing these crazy ass tricks, 5, 6, 7 years old, 4 years old. You're seeing these little kids doing like fucking like fucking 360 kickflips at the age of 4. Like what the fuck? I still can't do a 360 kickflip.
Well, yeah, I know, but I mean, well, so there's a catch-22 to that because even when we were older, we were looking at Nija.
Yeah.
And that kid, like when he started 10, 12 years old, was just, and look at him today.
Because now there's people that are going to be younger that look up to him. They're like, oh crap, we got to do better than him. It's kind of like I watched this documentary on Shaun White and same thing with him because he was the biggest and baddest there was. And then these younger generations were like, well, fuck, we got to compete with this guy. So now we got to go bigger and better. And he, on his last Olympics, he was just like, yeah, I mean, I'm lucky to be here today. These guys are fucking phenomenal. They're doing tricks that I couldn't even imagine doing now, but everything progresses, man. I can still do a kickflip. I can do that. I can still do a heel flip. Are they sloppy? Hell yeah, they're sloppy.
Oh, yeah.
But to be fucking almost 50 years old and be able to do a fucking heel flip and a kickflip still, I'm okay.
Hey, you're still in the plus column.
Yeah.
But and that's my joke. It's like, can I do it? Yes.
Yeah.
Can I do it twice? No, because I landed it and now my back hurts and I'm gonna go sit down and I'm like,
yeah. I'm not
I'll
here
do
to
it next week.
Yeah. Same time. I'll be here. I'll do it again for you.
Bat time, bat channel. I only do it once.
So where do you get your inventory from? Are you going directly to the companies, or do you got like a wholesale place you get it through?
Well, I've got 2 distributors right now.
Okay.
I'm in talks with a third, which is technically is in Chattanooga, but they come out of Canada, and
Okay.
I'm trying to get in like actual like boards for the team and boards for the shop. So I'm already in productions of like progressing forward because like I want a brand.
Yeah.
And I know the guys that I'm kind of picking up now, like they are super stoked. They're really good. And, you know, they all want to go pro. So it's trying to like I want to brand, you know, the custom skate logo and do that stuff and make it a staple for Clarksville. So it's like, hey, especially when we get the park open, like this is okay, you know, come here and you know do whatever. So it's like, you know, which you know take it the whole thing like full circle kind of thing. But I am, and then I've got another local dude that I'm looking for like you know stickers, posters, t-shirts, all that just for my merch and stuff like that. So because I don't want to always have to you know go online and search that shit out when I can get it like right down the street, you know.
Well, do you know Juanita? Why?
Yeah.
She gets her stuff, all her merchandise for her yoga company on Riverside. There's a local spot there, and they do pretty good work. So maybe I'll get that information and pass it on to you so you can stay local.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, and seriously, you know, like I said, I started this as a dick and fart joke. So any help, you know, I'm like, you know, and like if anyone wants to, you know, hit me up on the phone, I'm like, hey, do you have this board? Or you know, I'm down. I want to listen, and I want to give what the kids want, you know. So it's
For
like
sure.
I said, I just feel like a facilitator, you know. I'm like, this is where you come, you know, you hang out, you meet cool people, you know, and do stuff like that.
I'm gonna tell you right now, just by going in there that one time and then just seeing the pictures that you guys are posting online, your skate shop reminds me of this skate shop I used to frequent when I lived in Germany. It was basically, man, you'd go in there any time of day. There's always skaters sitting around, you know, watching videos, listening to fucking punk rock, and then somebody'd be like, "Hey, you want to go skate?" And then we'd go skate, even though we didn't speak the same language. We knew skateboarding, but we knew how to fucking skate. So that kept us going. So we'd go outside and skate, whatever, go back in, watch some, you know, videos. Other people would come in, people would leave. It was just cool. It was a cool atmosphere. And that's what I think you got going on here at your spot.
Well, so like that. So even when I was actually when I first started this, I was thinking I did have complete delusions of grandeur on all of it. Like I was looking at huge spots where like I wanted a small shop in front, and then I was like, oh, I'm gonna do an indoor park, you know, or you know, and just make it confined.
Yeah, for sure.
And then, but I had a couple of other friends that I talked to, and they're like, hey man, you know, like kind of like one step at a time. And I was like, yeah, because like that would have been like way like there's no way I could afford any of that shit.
No,
but in my brain space I did. But long story short, so anyway, what I'm saying is, so I wound up with this spot, and I seriously turned it into like my living room. Like what would make me comfortable, you know?
Yeah.
And I, you know, so I was like, just come hang out, you know. We got chips, snacks, soda pops. What? Come hang out, dude. Like I'm not charging you for any of that, you know, any of that. So I'm just like, no, come like meet here and go skate downtown, you know?
Yeah.
Meet up here first. So
I remember back in it was either June, maybe May, June. Anyway, Slaughter and then we're playing a show at the Rebel House, and you had come up to me and you were like, "Hey man, I want to open a skate shop." And da 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 da. But at that moment, you already had the wheels rolling. That was already you already had the wheels rolling at that point. When did you get that building?
About a week after that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Why?
because I mean, I knew that you had done it before,
Mhm.
and it was kind of like, would it be worth it, kind of thing, you know? It's like, you know, to me, it was just like, hey, man, I think you know Russ has done this before, you know, like it's not much as like asking permission, but I'm like, hey, man, do you think it would pan out? You know, like what would be a good idea? And that's just kind of, you know, it's like, well, Russ will know about it, you know.
It's my goal also, you're saying the same thing. We think bigger than what we have right now. And what I always wanted to do was do a skate park / venue / skate
Oh,
shop.
dude, that was my whole thing. Because like the first time, like this is even before I quit being a chef. But remember, like when Kmart went out of business and that, I'm like, oh, fuck off! I'll get that whole building. And what I'm gonna do is like I'll put a skate shop in the front. I'll put a whole skate park in the middle of it, and the backside of it, I'm gonna have a venue. We're gonna have punk rock shows, and I mean that was my game plan. It was like basically buying a complex. But I'm like, oh wait, I got $5 and some change, maybe a whole bunch of pocket lint, you know.
You said a skate park thing. We all, there is that Kmart that was on Fort Campbell Boulevard that we used to always talk about doing a skate.
Oh yeah,
skate spot there. And then, we all, we would always look at an empty building and be like, oh, wouldn't that be a cool skate park? And then whatever. Yeah. But, no, I, over the years, after Van Camps closed down, in Clarksville, we didn't really have a skate shop at that point. And then, I think Mike Wakefield opened one up here on 101st and Peacher's Mill. And that was there for a while. And then right here at Dover Crossing, there was another skate shop there that had a half pipe out front. And then Zoomies came in town, and then everybody just went there.
I can't say I don't know what to do, but all I'm saying is people are enjoying my shop a lot. And
what I was going to say was nobody wants to go to Zoomies and support big corporations. Everyone wants to come and spend local and support a place where they're comfortable.
That's where I get confused. I'm like, can I say that, or does everyone else say that?
Yeah, you can say whatever you want. You're still punk. You're still punk rock.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. So I honestly, I went to Zoomies, just because I knew that was like, okay, I just want to look at some boards, maybe get a T-shirt or something.
Yeah.
I went there and it was crazy, and I wound up talking to this dude who's actually working there. And he's like, he told me some shit, and then they also said that, hey, there's this meeting about this new skate park and blah blah. So, and I was like, well, that's when shit hit for me.
Okay.
And he's like, hey, he's like, I think we're gonna phase out, all of our skateboarding stuff, which they did. But I mean, they still have skateboards there and shit, but I mean, they're not like building them anymore or anything like that.
Gotcha.
So, and then like as soon as I started doing my soft opening stuff, and I had guys that were like, fuck Zoomies, fuck that place, fucking hate them, they're fuck. I'm like, okay, whoa.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, well, you have a skate shop, like, let's do something about it, like let me help you change your attitude, because I mean, I understand, like, no one wants to go, like, I fucking hate going to the fucking mall, man.
Oh, same, dude.
Shit, man. I was like, and it doesn't make any sense. Like, I will add to this whole thing as why the fuck are you gonna fucking buy a Hurley fucking shirt in a landlocked fucking state?
Salt life, bro. Salt life.
Homie, you don't fucking surf, man.
Yeah. Salt life.
Yeah, that's the solid. Like, I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, check out my new Oakleys. I'm fucking a badass. I'm like, bro, come on, man. No. And like, why are you gonna go buy surfboard t-shirts, in Clarksville?
I remember I went to the mall the other day, and it was the first time that I've ever been in a Zoomies. And Zoomies has been there for probably 10 years now. Probably 10 years now. I've never been inside there. But I walked by and I was like, let me just step foot in here. I walked in, I just as soon as I stepped foot in there, I was turning around to leave, and this guy goes, "Hey man, you in a band?"
Oh,
And
fuck off. That's the worst.
I was like, "Nah, man, why? What made you think I'm in a band?" "Oh man, just by the way you look, man, the way you dress." And I'm like, and I just came off of work, so all I had on were my fucking dirty ass work pants, a fucking hoodie, and I'd look like me, but I'd look like I just got off work. We started talking and shit. He's like, "Yeah, I used to be in a band too, man. You just, you got the look, you got the keys on your side, you got the chucks on, you got the dark jeans, and you got a hoodie." But then I got a new listener to the podcast out of that, so that was cool.
Well, yeah.
But yeah. So like I said, I've never been to a Zoomie that walked in. It just didn't have that vibe to me. But when we were growing up here, Champs used to sell pro decks in the back.
Oh, I do. Well, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
But every once in a while, Journeys would have a couple of decks.
Bro, Journeys is not the same. Journeys is not even the same anymore. I walked in there the other day. I was like,
no, dude. I was trying to go get some shoes, and I was like, this is not where I get shoes.
No, dude, you need the ones with the sole supports inside for you, man.
I sell them at my shop, by the way.
Yeah. What kind of shoes you got there?
Okay, so here's the thing. I am not doing shoes.
Okay.
It's only one, there's a lot, like it's a huge market to get into.
Yeah.
It's just something I can't really invest in.
Yeah.
But I am talking to another kind of private investor.
Yeah.
Basically, to see if I can get some just kind of on. I'm not necessarily on the DL, but if I was to distribute shoes, I can't. It's not in it for me and for the shop. It's way too expensive.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you're like maybe in say Nashville and it's a bigger city, bigger market, yeah, it's probably a lot better. But I mean, you figure you buy 7 different sizes of shoes and you're sitting on 5 sizes for 7 months,
Exactly. So and then yeah, so that was kind of weird, and I was like, because I just thought it was going to be that easy to do it. I'm like, oh, I just get in some shoes. And then I was like, oh no. And I was like, oh, that's a large order. And what am I going to do? Yeah. Which brings me back to, I do want to give a shout out to Clarksville Roller Derby, because I do sell roller skates too.
Okay.
And the way that I have that whole skate buying roller skates, they can come in, special order and stuff like that. So I'm trying to do as much as I can for the roller derby community, and they're super cool. They've been really supportive of the shop. They usually come out here for like Sundays, and stuff, and skate around. They've bought a lot of stuff, from here, and they're really supportive of the shop, and I just want to give them a special shout out to them.
Hell yeah. So they do pretty well. The roller derby, is there a lot of roller derby teams out there?
I mean, there's a lot of roller derby teams out there. I think this is they're the end of their season, so they're kind of like they're back into like recruiting right now. But like I said, like they're all like super cool, I mean, they it's for boys and girls, whatever. But yeah, they've just been super supportive, and I really like them, and just want to give a special shout out. I thought roller skates were like roller skates. Hey, no big deal.
Mm-hmm.
But no, then I bought some roller skates. I'm like, oh, this is a big deal. There's a lot, and so I'm still learning about that. But they've been really cool. They've been really cool and like really patient with me.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all I can ask.
Oh yeah.
So long as we all we're all supporting each other. I think that's the thing.
When with as many people as we know too, it's like, man, I think a lot of our people are trying to do something independently these days, which is great. I think it's better. There's enough business out there for everybody to start something or do something,
No, absolutely.
I mean, whether you having a skate shop or Mark having a band, me doing this podcast, it's like we all got these different things and whatever. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
What would you say to a young kid that was coming in there today and wanted his first skateboard? What would you offer him?
Well, I mean, wow, that's a really good question. Have they skateboarded before?
No, they want to get into it because they had just seen, say, like they saw a video.
Gleaming the Cube?
We don't have those kind of boards here, man.
I was like, yeah, actually, I do.
Oh,
but,
okay.
No, what I usually ask them is, what do you think skateboard? Like, I ask them, like, what do you think skateboarding is? And then I kind of let them handle the conversation. Like, oh, I want to be like Tony Hawk. Or I want to be like, I'm like, okay, that's cool. Let me go from there. But like I said, I'm not gonna, let a little kid,
I got you.
Buy like $100 deck. I'm like, no, bro, you need to learn how. Because like, and I tell the parents this too. It's like, well, they're gonna leave it in the front yard.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And I was like, yeah. But I mean, but I have them on. I have really, 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 really good skateboards, and then I've just now started ordering in like kind of like factory completes. Then I'm like, okay, this is going to be good for a kid. And most of those are like 7.5, so like they're smaller decks, and that's just for like younger skaters and stuff like that. But like I said, I still got I got cruisers, I got longboards, I got penny boards.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, well, if you're kind of younger, I'm like, well, get a penny board just to like get used to riding a skateboard, And a penny board is, I think, to me, is a really good option. You're not blasting down hills or anything. Well, I mean, you can, but you're not doing kickflips. You're just getting used to like getting on a skateboard and how it feels and stuff like that. And so as far as like, I think really anything else, it's just kind of like, you just kind of see like where they're at, what they want to do. And I try to do that with everybody.
Yeah.
Like I said, I really don't want to, like, I'm not going to push something,
I hear you there, brother. I had a first board. It wasn't a penny board, but it looked like a penny board back then. It was in the 80s. And I thought it was cool shit. It was blue, had yellow wheels. I thought I was the shit.
Yeah.
Then I move on the base and I'm skateboarding with this thing. And then I see some skaters roll down the street. And I was like, I want one of those.
I want to do what they're doing.
Yeah. So I ended up getting a hand-me-down Mark McGuire deck. And then I got a Tony Hawk hand-me-down from my buddy's brother. The grip tape matched the Hawk underneath it. It was all done perfectly, just like it was cool.
Yeah.
But my very first like pro deck that I bought myself was a Kevin Staub Sims pirate deck.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
And, man, classic.
And that motherfucker can go for some change now.
Yeah.
And then
it does.
And even Kevin Staub has released like the reprints, you know, they only do like a couple hundred, but they're like $250 a piece just for the deck. And I'm like, I want it, and I like to have it, but I'm not spending $250 on that reissue. Sorry.
Oh man, I'm going to tell you what. I don't know if you know the story about Mike V and his original graphic.
Mm-hmm.
So you know how Powell for a long time put out that bug.
Yeah.
Like we're talking. Well, that was supposed to be his like original graphic.
Oh, really?
Yeah, not the element or anything.
Okay.
Guess what I just bought myself?
That deck?
I'll show you. Hold on.
Okay. Oh, dope. Hell yeah.
Yeah, this is like
That's dope.
the only perk of owning a skate shop was like I found this and then check it out.
Hell yeah. That is dope.
Look at this thing, man.
Oh, look at tail. Holy shit.
Yeah, look, this is the nose.
That's
come
dope.
on.
I might have to get me that. You know, of course the elephant is just an iconic deck, you know.
Oh, dude, I loved it. And Mike V, like, I own his t-shirts.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I anything Mike V, I'm just like, what? Because to me, he's like the original badass punk rock skateboarder. But yeah, I saw that.
That's pretty dope, man.
And you should look up but Powell, like Lance Mountain, like so
yeah,
they're doing all these mashups now.
Oh, they got that one company. Fuck, what the hell that company name? Everybody something, maybe, I don't know. But they did like the Tony Hawk mashed up with like, I don't know, but the coolest, the Ray Barbie.
It's Tony Hawk, Mike McGill,
Guerrero.
No, Guerrero and somebody else.
Okay.
So there's Tony Hawk, Mike McGill. There's Lance Mountain and Ray Barbie. But Lance Mountain's doing his own brand shit now.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. And then, it was Caballero and Hosoi.
Oh, that's what it was. Yes. That was
but it's crazy. So, but they did it two ways. So like they do like they did it in regular size boards, but they started.
They got the
they
big
did
ass
long,
one. Yeah.
They're just super huge, man. I was like, what the fuck? And I've tried to get like 3 of them, but they're gone.
Yeah. Those are definitely some cruisers right there.
Oh my god, dude!
I saw Tony Hawk holding the big one. He's like, "Man, this is big." And
then they toss it. Yeah,
it was cool shit, man. But well, I see you guys got Christmas gift cards, right? You got gift cards for the holiday?
Oh, we chef, yeah.
Okay.
So that's just more like because I mean, I get a lot of phone calls. Obviously mostly through parents and stuff, and they're like, hey, do you have a good starter, blah 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 blah. And so I try to meet them in the middle, and I was like, well, I tell you what, like every parent has the best intentions, but when it comes to like skateboards, I'm like, no, get them a gift card and then let them come down and pick it out themselves.
Yeah.
Because you know, your grandma loves you very much, but you know, she's gonna get you. I just had the pretty flowers on it, and I really think you like it. You know, so and it becomes a little bit more personal when they get to pick it out themselves. You know, like I said, you know, we've got hoodies, t-shirts, stickers, buttons, whole 9 yards. So I'm trying to work in a whole kind of like package deal. Like, you know, I've got some backpacks and stuff still left that are like super dope, and you know, hats, just whatever, just for the holidays, you know.
Yeah.
So you come in and get a gift certificate, and then you're like, hey, you know, like here's a water bottle, here's, you know, this, some stickers, you know. But like I said, it's like I'm, you know, I want to promote the shop. I want to promote what it's about. But I also know that, you know, trying to get just branding out there, just so that people get used to seeing it and like, oh yeah, that's from the skate shop, you know.
Yeah.
Let's go and hang out, and know.
Well, your logo is really dope. Who did your logo?
So actually, the one that I have right now, it was my buddy Christian Dye.
Okay.
He used to live here a long time ago. But he's a graphic designer. He's completely amazing, dude. We worked in restaurants together for a long time.
Okay.
He used to, I think he's still doing graphic design now for a different company. But when I first met him, he was doing graphic design for the Leaf Chronicle,
Oh,
the
wow.
newspaper. Yeah, so that was like way kind of like, oh god, like maybe mid late 90s, something like that.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, we've been friends for a while, and I was trying to come up with graphics and how to do it, and because I mean I'm an artist myself, so but trying to get it like on stuff, like I was drawing stuff on paper.
Yeah.
But I was like, okay, I need something, and then I could say some really rude shit about one of the guys that when I try to do some signage. This guy like really, the first person I went to was a complete and utter fucking dickhead and pissed me off. It made me so mad that I was like, Chris, man, this guy is, he pissed me off, man. Like, he was just rude as shit to me.
Yeah.
And me like, why don't you just go sell bicycles? What do you mean Clockwork Custom Skates? What are you selling, clocks? I'm like, no, bitch, it's time to skate. Like,
But you did make a clock, though.
I did make a clock, yes. Yes, I did make a clock. And actually, we'll get into that later. But,
Yeah.
But this guy pissed me off so bad that I called Christian and was like, oh, fuck, what off? This is what he's saying. He's like, oh, I know what you mean. And then he just sent me like one thing. I said, like, he Google mapped the front of the shop. Then he sent me a picture of like all the graphics, and I was
oh, wow.
He's like, hey man, and I was like, bro, like that's having fucking friends, man, And it was dope as shit, and I love him so much for doing that, man. Like I can't express that enough. But,
yeah, your logo is pretty dope, though. I like that, man. I think it's pretty cool. Little, reminds me of like a rockabilly skull because it has like the pompadour in the front. Is it a pompadour? Am I right?
Yeah, that's what I think. That's what I used to look like before I went bald.
I used to have a skull.
Yes, I used to have a skull. But no, but yeah, he was just he came up with that and like made it fit in, and then we went back and kind of like stretched it out a little bit. So
yeah. So I know the name of the shop is Clockwork Custom Skates.
Mm-hmm.
Great acronyms with CCS. So was that a goal in mind to use those same letters?
I didn't realize it until I got the first T-shirt in.
And
I was like, oh fuck, I'm gonna get sued. Because I did not. Well, I like clocks a lot. I came up with this thing. It's like, hey, time to skate. Hey, it's never too late to skate. I had all these like catchphrases, and then but when I saw like my first logo, and that California like lettering, I was like, oh, I'm gonna get a lawsuit. Like, what's gonna happen? But thankfully, no one's caught on to it yet. Well, they will now if they ever fucking see this shit. And like, hey man, this guy's just fucking jinked off your fucking shit. I'm like, no, I didn't.
That's why you just changed one of the C's to a K. And then
I see what you did there.
Yeah, change the letters. It's still Clockwork Custom Skates, whether it's a K or a K, but no more Ks. Okay.
I think we can only have one K in there, or it gets weird.
Oh, well, yeah, you already got two in there. Yeah, we can't go anymore. You already got two Ks in your name. Yeah, no more. No.
Yeah, that'd be another lawsuit. No. I'm not down with that shit, man.
Well, Lance, we've been chatting for about an hour and a half. Been good stuff. I know you got your little skate party happening here soon. What time do people start rolling over and setting up?
Well, I mean, usually
Is it cold
around.
out? Is it cold today? What's the weather like today?
Well, it doesn't. If you're a skateboarder, it's perfect because the sun is out.
You are correct. No matter how cold it is, once the sun's out, you're sweating your ass off.
The sun's out, you're wearing a hoodie,
Yeah.
and you got a stocking cap on. Yeah,
The hoodie will come
5
on
minutes
later.
into it, you're not really gonna feel the weather anyway.
Fuck no. Who else is in your shopping complex you got there?
You know those? You ever seen the trucks, the men with kilts?
Yeah.
Yep, they're here, and then they have a maid service also, and then next to me is I don't know the name of the shop, but that's my tax attorney people.
Okay.
So they have a tax shop, and then next to them is I don't know what you call them. She's one of the does like Reiki massage therapy lady,
Okay.
that stuff.
Yeah, okay.
And then at the end of it, I think there's a beautician, and I think another guy is supposed to be a tattoo artist. I've only seen him like once.
Okay. Yeah. That's pretty cool.
And then, but in front of me, is our boy Dennis Sullivan.
Yeah.
He's in the 420 building up there, and they got the barber shop up there. So yeah.
Are you keeping the dollar store the Dollar General in business?
Well, holy shit! So this is what happened. Long story short, they technically, like when it got all hot and shit, they didn't have any air conditioning, so they closed down. They ripped out like all of the coolers and shit. And then I thought they were just going to be closed because they had like U-Haul trucks are taking everything out. But apparently they're back in business.
Okay.
But I don't think they have refrigerators. So it's going to be a bummer because like now I got to go all the way down the street to go buy beers and shit now.
Oh, that's did they used to sell beer there?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Apparently they have. I just found out they still have beer there.
Oh, well, you're good.
And cigarettes.
So
yes, that Dollar General, like me and the Dollar General are going to be here. Yes. I buy a lot of things from them.
That's awesome. Well, Mr. Lance, this was fun. Got to talk to you about skateboarding. We could probably do another one about punk rock and music.
Oh, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Anytime.
I really wanted to try to talk about skateboarding, talk about the shop, get some insight on it. I'm happy for you, proud of what you're doing for the community, and just always staying yourself.
All right, man. I want to thank you so much and allow me the opportunity, and I'm glad just we to hang out even via internet, man. It's just good to see you.
Yeah, man. I'll tell you after we get done here. I got it once I end it. I'll let you know. So, but yeah, man, have fun. Appreciate you. Where can everybody find the Clockwork? Right here, right? Let me put that ad back up here. Everybody can find you guys right there at the Clockwork Custom Skates on IG and 331 Union Street, Suite A6 in Clarksville, Tennessee.
Yeah, chef. Yeah,
stop by and see him. Who knows? He might even give you a little butt pat.
What? Do it twice.
All right, Lance. Be safe, brother.
All right, man. I love you.
Later.